I'm going to make one directory. So mkdir code sec, code security, code sec, cd code sec. There's nothing. Okay. Code sec. It's one subdirectory. And there we want to create a simple function. All right. So let's start step by step. Very, very simple function that we can add two numbers. How about that? So we're using vi adder.c. I want you to do the same way that I am doing. Right? Code security is basically hands-on. Right? Nothing to memorize. Okay, vi.adder.c. So the file name of the coding is called adder.c. We are going to edit that file using vi editor. Okay, so vi.adder.c. Enter. Then you have a whole lots of tilde. The first upper left corner, there is a cursor. The first thing that you need to do is to the insert, right? How can you insert? Press I. All right? And then simply void main, open and close, and curly brace. Then you can say int a equals 3, b equals 4, and then int c. So we have three variables, right? A, B, and C. A, B, those two variables are initialized. So we declare, hey, A is an integer, B is an integer. By the way, we want to assign the value. So 3 is assigned to the variable A and 4 variable B. And C, not yet. We didn't do anything, right? And then we calculate C equals A divided by 4. We need to fix it a little bit later. And then what you need to do? Let's say print f. We want to print, let's say, we need to print A. We need to print, say like this, D for integer number, right? %D divided by %D equals %f, and then next line \n, and for the first parameter we say A, and second parameter we say B, and third parameter C, and close that. If we type that up like that, then don't forget to press escape button. So escape.
We need also to include the stdio to print or not.
Thank you so much. Yes, we have to do. So int here, we have to change this. C is not anymore integer, because see here, variable C is written here floating point, float. That's what I said, right? So instead of int, we need to change this. How can we change int? We need to delete 3 characters, right? So x, press X 3 times, X. After you do escape button. And then you have to insert. So press I, and then type float.
You press I and then float?
Yeah. And then don't forget to press escape button again. Then cursor is a shift back up 1 space. And Pamela said we need to include some header file library. Why? Huh?
The function of print.
In other words,
To accept the input and the output.
input and output, right? So we need to do pound sign, include an angle bracket, standard std io.h. And then again, we need to do escape. Is that all? Include stdio.h. Okay. So I'm sure some of you have some problem in BI editing. Let me know so that I can fix it and help you if you mess up because of BI editing. Anybody has a BI editing issue? Are you okay?
Yeah.
Nicholas?
Yeah.
You have
Yeah, I have
socks,
socks.
right?
Yeah.
Jessica, you have you can do it on your terminal. Where is can you open up the terminal?
Because how do I go back
Yeah.
to change that?
Now what? Which one do you want to change?
Change the colon into
Yeah, go there, escape, go there, that, now column. If you want to change it to semicolon, then replace, right? So, R, and then semicolon. Cool. R for replace. Yeah, type T or enter. Okay, we got the terminal. Let's see if you have the GCC. You have GCC. Okay. So MKDIR, JGCC, CDGCC is nothing. So you can make another directory. The way that I did is code sec, code security. So CD code sec. Okay, there. And then you do VI. What's the name that I made? And .c. And then include yeah, to do type.
This is GCC.
Yeah, GCC is by default, I think, available on Mac OS.
stuck at deleting. I can't. Look.
Again?
Yes. It's not replacing them. I want to press enter.
You have to delete it.
I know.
Escape,
Uh-huh.
delete X.
I
Don't-
know. Yes.
What did you do? Don't do this, just X.
Oh, okay.
What is X? X
Delete.
means, if you want, X means delete, right? Same thing here. Where are you? Oh, it's a Ubuntu, right? What's it virtual? I'm sorry. Is it virtual box? You have an auto capture keyboard. Okay, so right control. This is right control. Control. And this is outside. All right. I think many of you are ready. So don't forget to escape button again, as many times as you want. And then, if you want to save and exit from this editor, what should you do? After escape button and
S to save.
Colon Q to exit.
Go to Q, WQ or QW. I remember
Oh,
something.
WQ, right and exit.
Yeah, WQ.
W exclamation, then it is still here. You want to exit from this, right? Remember that I said Z. We all know who that person is, right? Z. Dr. Z. So double Z. Z. Capital Z. It doesn't appear here, but capital Z. Then it saves and exits. Do you have that? So if you have the command line, then you are okay. And then right there, to see if it is there, ls is a Linux command. ls stands for list. So list of the elements in that directory, in the current directory. In the current directory, we have addr.c, only one file. Right? Now we need to compile. GCC. Let's compile first to -o, doing nothing, and then file name addr.c. Oh, because of that. So if I don't do this -o, okay. Now what happens here is that I have a dot out. What is the command that I made? I didn't do anything, but I typed gcc followed by source file name. I didn't use any GCC options. If I do not have any GCC options, then by default, the output file, more specifically, object file, less technically, executable file. If you say object file, then it's technical term. What is the object file of your programs then? Oh, this guy might know some. So a dot out, that is an object file. And another issue, another terminology, we call that executable file. If we want to see what it is, then type file.a.out, then it tells you. File a.out, it explains you. A.out is ELF 64-bit list segment by executable. See, there's an executable. And it's compiled by x86. x86. What do you mean by x86? There's a processor, right? Long time ago, about 30, 40 years ago, or not up to that long, 30 years ago, 8086. How do you know that? Anybody heard of 8086? Microprocessor? Oh, only guy from other countries learned 8086. You are not old, right?
He's old.
I know Abu, because he's our father, so he's over 60 years old. Sorry.
I'm 15 years old, 15 years of experience. You know that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So young.
Well, yeah, 8086 is, oh yeah, 8086, around 1980s, it's microprocessor, right?
1989, 1991.
No, 1980, some. When I first,
8086 was around 1991.
no, in America, it was 1980,
Or 8088.
Yeah.
80, no.
And 83,
Earlier
86
than that.
around 1993, 94.
We learned, we started at Z86.
I don't know anything now.
You don't know that, right?
Z.
Right. That is 1,000 years ago, when I was young. Okay, so it starts from 8086, and then many years later, 286, right? And 386, 486.
8088 before 286.
Right. Anything, and there's a lot of different versions of microprocessors.
It's 1979.
But interestingly, there are ending with 86, ending with 2 digits, 86. So we call all globally call x86. So x86 means, it doesn't mean any specific microprocessor. It doesn't mean 8086. It doesn't mean 286 or 386, 486. It means, I think, the recent, but still the series of 86. So x86, but 64-bit process and dynamically linked. But anyway, it runs for GNU Linux. It runs at the GNU Linux, and it is already interestingly hash values in it. SHA-1, some hash values, right? But anyway, that is, so a.out is executable. How can you execute it? If you say a.out, command not found. Linux operating systems, it doesn't refer to the current directory. It refers to all the binary files, all the directories above. S binary file, just binary file, local binary, binary files. It never comes to my home directory, where even if it has executable files, it doesn't care. Therefore, we have to specify, if we want to execute a.out right here, right there, which directory, in my case, code sec directory, then you should do Or someone can say, if you know Linux, you should say, how can you indicate, how can you specify my current directory in Linux or any operating systems? Same thing in Windows. You know, my parent directory, if we specify my parent directory, then we should say ... right? 2 dots. So directory of mine, therefore, 3 dots or 1 dot? 1 dot. You are lucky. So we should say 1 dot. And then when you specify the path of the directory, file system, what is the delimiter? It's a slash. So you have to say dot slash. And then you specify a dot out. Then it says 3/4 equals 0.000. Is it really? 0.75 sum. How can you fix it?
Open again the file, or
Yeah, we have to open again. So how can you open it? Open the VI editor, quick exclamation mark and VI, whatever, or how many the character of the command line, then it refers to the recent past command. So VI, enter, then that is the command that I got. So what should we do here? Did I say 4 here? Oh. We have to
Instead of
replace
B.
this to B, 4 to B. If you want to replace that particular character, then R for replace, and then B, then A over B. Integer divided by integer. And then escape again and uppercase ZZ. See what happens. I'm not sure it fixed it, but still. So what you need to do, go back. And then maybe typecast. Let me do this and come back. If it works, then I'll can. Oops. Load. Still. So integer divided by integer doesn't, only if we say here float. You see? Interesting. Of course, if you do that, then it gives you obvious. Where's my cursor? lost my cursor. Okay. Back here. Okay. Another issue. Minus D should be all F. All F. All F. Then it should be. Oh, okay. But anyway, you fix it. What did I do?
No.
You don't have to fix. Don't worry about that. That language itself. Our concern is debugger, okay? Right now we have 2 files, right? If you want to do debug, then another command, gcc -g. First of all, let's try to generate assemble code. If you want to generate assembler code while you are compiling your program, then gcc minus capital S and minus O for output. I want to call my output adder, and then my source code is adder.c. Look at that command. gcc, that's compiler collection. One option, minus S, uppercase S. It generates assembly code. Minus O, output, followed by output file. I call it adder. Followed by, finally, source code, which is C, and enter. And then ls again. Then I have adder remains the same, adder.c, the same. A.out, it obtained from the previous command. In addition to those 2, I have a new file, adder. So adder is another executable file. To find it, you type file adder, then adder assembler source. Is assembly? Oh, this is assembler code. Hold on. Then should we say string. That's it. There's no such problem here actually. So actually this works. And then adder is A.out was generated earlier. Okay. So if you want to generate assembly code, you do not combine with the compiler. You simply generate assembly code like adder.c